There has been substantial jump in terms of growth forecast for FY26. What do you read out of this increase? And there has been substantial cut in the nominal GDP growth. Do you see this impacting our fiscal deficit number?
So, see, the expectation was that the economy will have a little bit of a slowdown in the second half compared to the first half, which printed really good numbers in the first half. So, it is as per expectation that we had expected it as to be coming at 7% plus, so which it has printed accordingly. And regarding your point on the nominal GDP being lower, is obviously, as we know, that the deflator, that on the nominal, when you move from nominal to real, the deflator has 60% weightage of WPI, so wholesale price index. So, and we know that the wholesale price indices have been much softer, and because of one is the food inflation that we talk about, that the food inflation has kind of softened, but the other items in the wholesale price, if you look at the oil part of it and the other the basic material and all, that has also softened. So, therefore, the deflator is much lesser. So, and hence the gap between nominal and real has shrunk. But if you look at nominal, yes, means it always concerns a little bit, because the taxes and the tax revenues and everything is collected on the nominal, because you tax the nominal and not the real. So, therefore, there is an impact that comes from a shortfall in the revenues, the tax revenues that will come. We expect that there will be a shortfall. Our estimate is about 1.9 trillion of shortfall in the tax revenues, the gross tax revenues. But then there are also savings. See, we also have about, from the, if I leave out the GST compensation cess part of it, leaving that out, the changes that were done, and now we don't have the compensation cess, we have about 1.9 trillion anticipated shortfall in revenues. If you take at the GST compensation cess, we believe that around 75,000 crores or 0.75 trillion of shortfall will be there. But then the thing is that the compensation cess, the opening amount was much larger, and that has not been utilized. So, even after the compensation cess goes away, actually the central government will have about $500 billion of money sitting there, which the government can decide how to use, because after settling for all the debts that were taken on behalf of the states, as you know, that was being used for that, still it will have $500 billion left on that front. Now, looking at the revenue expenditure side of it, we believe that it is behind. The November numbers are behind. It is just 2% ahead of the last year, as on YTD November, the revenue expenditure. But the capital expenditure is much higher, almost more than 25% higher than last year at this point of time, at the end of November. Therefore, we believe that revenue expenditure, there will be a shortfall. Shortfall as in there will be lesser than budgeted expenditure estimates, budget estimates, about 2% lower, that is, it will be at 98%, and capex probably will hit close to 99 or even close to 100%. Now, with that saving that is coming in and the GST compensation that is going in, on a net basis, it will kind of match off. Now, when we say that the nominal GDP is lesser, so it is going to be the denominator, right? That's the denominator. So, denominator becomes smaller, but it has actually not become smaller. The growth 8% is on the revised base, the revision of the GDP that has been done for the previous year. Now, that has gone up, that has been revised upwards, and hence the growth, when it is being reported as 8%, is lesser. But on absolute terms, in absolute terms, actually the nominal GDP estimates that were taken in budget, taking the 10.1% growth that was assumed, the absolute numbers are actually almost matching. Therefore, the denominator is actually not shrinking, and hence we believe that the government should be able to easily meet the fiscal deficit target of 4.4%. It has a headroom to actually better it, and we believe that optically speaking, it could be pegged at 4.3%. And because it's a kind of a signal, right, that we are actually not only meeting the fiscal consolidation targets, but we are overachieving it. So, we believe that 4.4% is quite achievable. Government may optically may decide to keep it at 4.3%.